needed. It was well needed for all of us. It was me and my brothers went to Dallas, grabbed an Airbnb, kicked it, chilled, posted, relaxed. No responsibilities, nobody to answer to, none of that. I turned 26, my brother turned 25, so it was a vibe, man. We had a good time. I needed it for the mental, the physical, all of that. I just relaxed, we stepped out, had a couple drinks, stuff like that. And it was cool, it was cool. Now we back in Oklahoma. Damn! Nah, I'm just playing. It's grind time, man. We gotta get to it, man. I had showed up to work today. We ain't really got nothing to paint, so I just started cleaning out some guns. And I was like, damn, I could make a video just kind of showing y'all, like, you know, techniques on spraying and how to determine whether or not you might have a bad tip or how to use a spray can. Just little beginner techniques. Just thought I'd do a quick little video. So, man, let's get into it. I ain't got my stabilizer, so it's a little bouncy. Now, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling blessed. Like I said, that vacation was well needed. Got some, I don't even be buying clothes and jewelry like that. But I bought some jewelry, I bought some clothes, I feel good. I'm like, all right, I done stepped out on somebody, right? Nah. It feels good to be back with my kids and my fiance. But let's get to it. So I got this little paper up on, I got this big paper on the wall, and we're gonna do some spray patterns. We're gonna just kind of do some spray testing and little tricks and stuff like that. Now, this is just based off my experience, this is just what I know. Now, other painters do it differently. You might do it differently when you get the hang of it. It's just all about how you like to do it and how it comes out. Because I've had a lot of people tell me, no, do it this way. I'm an Aries. And I'll be like, nah, let me do it my way. And then I'll figure it out. So you might be on that too. But this will help you out to get you an idea, kind of to get you started. Now, we are in the big booth today. We'll be at my shop a little later on. I might not record that process. I got a lot of catching up to do. Yeah, so we're gonna start over. So we're gonna mess with the pressure pot. Yeah, this is a pressure pot. This is a pressure pot. It has pressure from the air. Now, I don't know everything about a pressure pot, but I've had to use it. I've used it on airplanes, painting planes. I've used it on the tugs to paint the planes when I was in working for Delta. Now, this is this long ass hose. I'm not gonna lie. My favorite gun to spray with is a pressure pot. And I only say that because I've never, ever had an issue. My gun, well, I've had my gun clogged a few times, but I'm talking about leaking. I hate when guns leak, and most of the time, these guns leak right here. The gravity fed or the HVLPs, they leak. Somehow, some way, they will leak. Especially, now, I'm sure some people have, spray with it and haven't had any issues with leaking, but my luck with these, they work great. They're a lot more comfortable. You don't have to fill up a whole pot. You don't have to walk around with this big ass hose, well, two of them, because you have one for fluid and one for air. That's a pressure pot. They're great, and they push out a lot of paint versus gravity fed. Now, and then we got our two paint cans over here. So we're gonna mess with them all. So right now, I'm gonna load this pressure pot up. Now this is kind of how you load up a pressure pot. Well, this is how you load up a pressure pot. Obviously make sure the air is disconnected. Look like a damn crock pot. Boom. Now, this is just lacquer thinner. This is how you clean out the pressure pot. So this is just expired paint with some reducer in there, so I ain't worried about that. Cause we're just gonna be spraying that over there. It's a big ass booth. Yeah, load this bad boy up, close it up, just like that. Now, they normally have a liner. Where is those pink liners? There's some pink liners in there you can just pour in there, and then whenever you're done, you dump the whole pressure pot out, and then that's it. But, load this up. My bad if I'm talking too much. I do be realized. Somebody said that in my comments. Somebody was like, you talk too much. And then I listened to my videos and was like, damn, I do talk too much. So I'm gonna shut up. Nick, I don't talk too much. I'm gonna keep talking. Nah. right, there we go. So we got it loaded up. Now, there's straight lacquer thinner all through this line. So we're gonna have to purge it. Purging it is just basically getting rid of that. Cause you'll be surprised, I've come across people that would just do what I just did, knowing that there's lacquer thinner in the line, and then load up. We're like, all right, cool, we ready. Boom, and they get to spraying. Look, that's straight lacquer thinner. That's lacquer thinner. So we're gonna empty that out. The best way to empty that out is not leaving it the fan like that. You want to turn down the air. So we're going to turn down the air as much as we can. Well, not as much as we can. We're going to leave a little bit. Now we're just going to pour out of there. Now watch how long it takes for paint to actually come out. So imagine, to somebody who doesn't know, they would have probably just been like, all right, ready to spray. And they would have sprayed the side of a car and it would have just been straight lacquer thinner. And I mean, it's a lot of pressure, so don't think it's just pouring out. Yeah, so that's how much pressure. So it ain't like I just got the pressure all the way down. So this is pushing, this is flowing. It should start spitting pretty soon, but I think we gotta be at least a minute in now. I'm gonna probably time lapse it. Probably speed the time up and just tell y'all how long it took. Still lacquer thinner though. Now, I know, practice what you preach. Uh-oh. Ah, there we go. Now I think we got some paint. No, it's still lacquer thinner and paint, but we want it to get thick. Want it to kind of get thick. All right, I think we're kind of thick. Yeah, now we're thick. Now, once it starts to get thick, you do kind of want to, there we go. That's what we're looking for. We want it to be. And once it gets thick, I like to keep going for about maybe another 10 seconds just to guarantee that there's no lacquer thinner in that thickness of the paint. But more than likely, the paint will override that lacquer thinner. So yeah, we're just getting set up right now. We got our pressure pot ready. Let's go ahead and bring our gravity fed gun over here. We'll load this up. Same thing. It's got paint in here. And yeah, we'll work on some patterns and stuff like that. Kind of make sure and figure out whether or not our gun is ready to spray. My bad, y'all. That's why I love my job. I love my job because it's the people I work with. I got a few Hispanics that work with me, some of my coworkers. And they really love me and I really love them. And I say that because they come in here all the time and give me a burrito. It's not just the burrito that I'm excited about. They give me hot sauce. It ain't even on no racial, none of that. They give me hot sauce. Like, I don't even want the burrito if it ain't no hot sauce with it. But damn it, they take care of me and I take care of them. That's why when I'm on the clock or whatever, they come in here and they'll give me a toolbox and give me $20, $30 to make. When I'm like, you know what? I love this job. And then at the same time, like, nobody bothers me back here. Like, I'm cool, I'm ducked off. If they got something they want me to paint it, I roll it in here, smack it and send it. And they like, damn, man, we thought it was gonna take you a week. Anyways, look, so yeah, I love this job. So, and then I'll get off and then I'll go to my shop. So, Bezo with Wheels, man. If y'all new to the channel, hit that subscribe button now. All right, let's get into it. Good evening, class. First things first, we're gonna talk about the different. Sheesh. We're gonna talk about the different types of guns. We got a pressure pot, like we talked about earlier. Pressure pot, this particular gun is meant for big projects like a diesel or 18-wheeler trailer, something like that. That's a pressure pot. It's created by pressure, by plugging in the air, and yeah. This one is a gravity fed. Like I said, I only know a little bit. I think this is considered as a HVLP. I don't know. Drop it in the comments. I haven't had time to look it up. And if somebody told me before, which they probably have told me before, I forgot. But this is a gravity fed gun, I think. Damn, I feel so bad making this video because I don't fully know. But I only know so much. I'm self-taught, and it's a lot of things that I should know before I'm painting cars. But I've probably painted over 100 cars now. So, that being said, we're gonna put a question mark on that gun. HVLP, I guarantee it's HVLP and or gravity fed spray gun. But we got two different guns right now. We're gonna be focusing on the gravity fed or the HVLP. We're gonna be focusing on that. Like I said, this is more of a paint gun for cars, for smaller projects. And then we have a 2-quart over there, pressure pot as well, which is, non-functioning right now because it's messed up. Now, gun settings, fan, fluid, air. Same thing on every gun, fan, fluid, air. All right, we got the fan, fluid, air on this one right here. Fan, fluid, air. Just follow me, We're in class right now. I'm not gonna put that up. Fan, fluid, air on that one, and then it's fan, fluid, air. Just remember them in that order. Fan, fluid, air. What is the fan, fluid, air? Let's get to it. So this is the fan. We'll talk about the fan first on your paint gun. That's what the top notch is. All the guns are pretty much the same. I haven't seen anyone different so far. This is the fan. We're gonna put the fan all the way in, which will give us this result, a dot. We're going to take the fan all the way out, which is going to give us a flat, regular spraying paint mark. So this all the way in is pretty much, if you want to just touch up somewhere that's deep into a pocket, you need to just, it's like an excessive airbrush. Go all the way out. That's your fan. That's the regular spraying method. So, and you can adjust it in between that. You don't have to pick one or the other. You can go in between. Say you want your fans a little bit smaller. That's the big one. Come in just a little bit. That's the small one. That's a little bit even smaller. Now we have the dot. Or, there we go. Now we have the dot. So this helps you, the fan, which is the top one, will determine, or will help you get into certain angles that a regular fan can't get into. So that's what this top notch does right here. That's the fan that will adjust, open and close, and help you get into certain grooves and angles. Now remember, that was the fan. We're working on the fluid now. The fluid determines how much fluid you want. Same thing, go all the way in. No fluid coming out. Give it a turn or two. Oh, we left it on the narrow fan. We're gonna zoom out. We're gonna come out with it. Now we have a regular. See how it's barely coming out? Add a little bit more fluid. Now it's coming out a lot. Now even more fluid. And then even more fluid. But if you go too far out, you'll unscrew it and the spring will come off. So, come out. So, what you can do is you can flip it upside down, pull the trigger, grab your fluid, the one that controls the fluid, and play with it. If you don't feel it in your finger, keep playing with it. Keep messing with it. Okay, now look at my finger. Look at this one right here. That means there's no fluid because I turned it all the way in. If I come all the way out, boom, I'm all the way open. So now what I'll do is reset it. I'll put my finger right here. In the moment that I feel like my finger is pressed up, Boom, that's all the way open. Now it's all the way open. So, like I said, fan fluid is the amount of fluid that's coming out that you want out. So say you wanted to just touch up on something real light. I would zoom in on my fan. Okay, there we go. I would zoom in on my fan, make it like a little dot, and then I do barely any fluid. No fluid coming out, give it like a little turn. Too much, we'll go back in. Go back in. There we go. So that's pretty much how you get to the airbrush setting. So if you had like a little touch up, boom, airbrush it in there, good and dry. It's not even wet. So that's fan, that's fluid. Now we'll go to the air. Now, the air is almost like common sense. The air will determine how hard you want it to come out, how hard you want the paint to come out. So without air, you're not gonna have anything come out. Nothing. I got my fluid off. I got my fluid halfway, fan halfway. So, and as a matter of fact, if you don't have hardly any air come out, it will just pour out. So you're gonna have to have some type of air. So this one has an air gauge on it. Got it about 11 right now. So your air. That's at about 11 PSI. This is like 37 PSI. All messed up. You don't need to have it that hot for nothing. This gun isn't really even supposed to be running off that much air pressure, which is causing it to malfunction. So I would shoot in between about 13 to 23 PSI. In between there, depending on what you're spraying, what angles you gotta spray, depending on that, in between 13 to about 24 PSI is what I would have my air at. So fan, fluid, and air, once you master those out and trying to find a balance in between all of these working together, then everything else is on you, which is the distance and your speed. That's the main things. Once you get the gun down, you focus on your distance and speed. So let's kind of go back over everything. On your paint gun, you will have to determine what angles you're trying to hit, which is your fan all the way in and then your fan all the way out, which is the regular. This is what you use to spray paint a car or any big appliance or whatever you're trying to spray. So if you want to hit into like a little pocket, say we had to spray, I don't know, we wanted to make sure we get in here really good. Those angles, you have to narrow that fan in and airbrush it in there like so, like so, like so. And then that determines your fan, you know, the size of your fan. Then you get your fluid, which is how much fluid that you want to come out. Like I said, you do a lot of fluid, you could do a little bit of fluid, like so, airbrushing. And then we got our air, which is, you know, how hard you want it to come out, how hard you want to, do you want to airbrush it on? You turn down the air just a little bit. That'd be a great idea to do that for adjusting your air. Or if you're trying to force the air into a large pocket, like, I don't know, like painting in, like say you had to paint these hoses and they were sitting just like this. I'd add a lot of air to it so that air could rush in here, push up in there. That air creates a lot of overspray. Overspray is good when you're trying to get into grooves like this, like pockets and stuff, like it's forcing it. So that's what the air is for. And then like I said, without the air, you have nothing. You don't have anything. So let's go over a few things to avoid since you know how to use your gun. First things first, we're gonna Talk about runs. Damn, bro, you ran the piss out of that, bro. You ran the shit out of that paint job. That paint job look terrible. You got a whole bunch of runs everywhere. What is a run? What does a run mean? What does it look like? A run is this. Clearly, that paint is running away from what it's supposed to be doing, which is sticking to the car. So to avoid that, well, let's talk about why that happened. Clearly, I know some of y'all know, some of y'all are painters, some of y'all get the idea, some don't. That is caused because it's too much paint in one area. You're either going way too slow or you're really close, which means you have to watch your distance. You have to watch your distance, keep it about 6 to 8 inches away from the panel or whatever it is that you're painting. That's running. We want to avoid that right there. Last thing you want to do is have to deal with that during the paint job, which I have. And they say if you ain't running, you ain't painting. But I don't like running. So yeah, I try to avoid that. Now, how can we avoid that? Watch our distance, like I said, and maybe it's too much fluid. Watch when we turn our fluid all the way in. We're gonna go that same speed. We went that same speed, but we turned our fluid in. Look at it. Big difference. Avoid the runs. Do not run it. Either back up or, angle turn your fluid in. Now, I can have my fluid all the way out, and I can still spray it without running it because I'm going to speed up. It's exactly the same. So my fluid was all the way open, but I moved faster. I didn't allow paint to build up and run like that. So we want to avoid running it, which is that. So if you're worried about running it, if you're really concerned about it, put your fluid all the way in. Put it all the way in. All the way in is nothing at all. Come back out of it, maybe a turn and a half or two, and then try it. Do one swipe, about 6 to 8 inches. I'm really close. I'm about 4 to 6 inches. But if you do 6 to 8 inches, there's no shine to it. I feel like that's a great first coat right there. That's a great first coat. You don't have to worry about that at all. And if you wanted to keep it like this, as far as your same distance, same speed, do that. That's fine. You're gonna have a great ass paint job. Me, I'd rather dry shoot it than run it. That's just me. That's how I like to work. So my first coat normally comes out dry shot. I'm like, okay, bet, all right, cool. Now my second coat, look, first coat already dry. Second coat, boom, second coat, we're getting there. Let's dry it off a little bit more. Now, normally you want to wait about 10 to 15 minutes to let that first coat and second coat cure. So spray the first coat 15 minutes, wait, second coats, wait 15 minutes. So 15 minutes per coat. Boom. That looks good. That looks good. That's how we want it to be. Avoid the runs. Do not run it. Watch your distance. And you can practice and run it on purpose just to kind of see where that zone is that it would run. Because you got a pigment sag and then you have a run. Those are runs. That's a pigment sag. That's more of a run, but let's see if we can try to get it to pigment sag. So a pigment sag is like right before it runs. Yeah, we'll find it. It'll probably show up here in a minute. It's like right before it runs. Anyway, so yeah, man, let's avoid that. Let's keep that, this consistency right here. Now that we've discussed the runs, we'll talk about the dry shot. It's almost the opposite of a run. Dry shot is so that's a dry shot, basically. Or watch this. So, see the difference right here? Dark, dry, dark, dry, dark. That's a dry shot. You want to avoid that because you will see that in your paint job. You have to maintain the same distance, same speed, same everything throughout the whole entire car, no matter what angle you are at. If you're 4 inches over here, you need to be 4 inches all the way around the car. Bumper, hood, trunk, fender, door, jams, all of that. Because you don't want to mess with the color. Like I said, watch. Let's do right here. So, you see that? Big difference. Big difference. So, it's super dark right here, and it's like lighter. It's dark still over here, but it's a little lighter than this. Meaning, you've had more color in one area than the other. So, if you are slowing down and speeding up in one area, you're going to have a patchy look. So, you need to maintain consistency all the way around. So, avoid the dry shoot. The dry shoot shouldn't, and you can actually try to blend that. So if you do dry shoot it, dry shoot it, you can kind of look at it like, okay, cool. Blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it. Yes, sir. Straight like that. Oh, we got a little dry spot, okay. Blend it, don't dive into it. Just feather it in there, feather it in there. That's the dry shoot. Don't dry shoot it. So we figured out how to function our gun. We figured out how to avoid the runs. We figured out how to avoid the hatchet marks. Like I said, watch your speed. Don't get too close and don't go too slow. Don't go too fast on the hatchet. That's how you leave dry shoot. So you have to maintain the same consistency. Now, what is a hatchet mark? A hatchet mark, a hatchet mark is this right here. That's a hatchet mark, that's a hatchet mark. Hatchet mark, hatchet mark, hatchet mark, hatchet, hatchet, hatchet is a hatchet mark. Avoid that in your paint job because I used to do that. You create hatchet marks when you on your start and stop points, or your areas where your door meets another door, or your quarter panel meets the door, or the hood meets the fender. Those are normally where those hatchet marks occur. Okay, I don't know if you guys can tell, but this all down here is a hatchet mark and hatchet mark. Or let's do it like this. Well, let's do it a little bit clearer. See that? Those are hatchet marks. Those are pretty much almost like not a run, but those areas would more likely run before this center part is, because it's just darker, it's darker, or people would do this. In the same spot, wherever you pointing that gun at, that's where all the paint is gonna accumulate. Same thing when you stop. Let's try and do another example with a hatchet mark. All right, hatchet mark right there. That is caused by, I don't know, you say you stepped on a hose or tripped or fell or well, I don't know. Clearly you stayed in one area too long. And yeah, it's clear as day that you can see that. So you want to avoid those hatchet marks. Like I said, it's just too much paint in one area. You want to be consistent through the whole thing. Next thing to avoid is the tiger stripe. What is a tiger stripe? Damn, your paint job got tiger stripes. Yeah. Let's figure out if we can, how to purposely make a tiger stripe. Let me see. Oh. It's gonna be hard. Okay, I know how to do it. Damn, look like I purposely did that because I did purposely do that. Let's do it less purposely. Is that a word? I don't even know. We'll figure it out. Let's do this. There we go. All right. Yeah, tiger stripe right there. Tiger stripe is kind of self-explanatory. It has tiger stripes in your paint job. It just looks like a bunch of stripes. Now, to avoid that, you have to maintain consistency. You have to maintain your distance, your speed, your movement, all of that. You have to pretty much just lay the same amount of paint everywhere. So that means I either was too close on one strike, one stroke, and then far back on one, too close or not enough. You know, I kept moving. To avoid that, you really want to maintain the same distance. 50%, 50%, 50%. Now, what I'm meaning by 50%, you can still kind of see these two. So I either, if you wanted to, well, the paper is moving. Anyways, so you want to drop 50%. So that's really where you want to try and jump. Now, it's not 50, and let's do this. And still ain't. Still ain't. It has to be 50% lower. So this down. So this line is cool. This line has to come down just a little bit. It has to be. It's like almost like cutting grass. But as long as you drop 50% every time, you will be okay. And you have to stay the same distance, same speed all the way around the car. So that's pretty much what we want to work on, is all of those factors right there when it comes to paint. If you can master those or try to perfect those or get it the best ability you can, every paint job will come out. Now, there's been paint jobs where I have painted and I've had all of it. I've had tiger stripes, I've had runs, and I had dry shots all in one vehicle. Now, I say that because it's all about repetition. The more you do it, the better you get. I've painted probably over 100 I've definitely painted over 100 projects, if not 300 or 400, but I've probably painted over 100 cars now. So I know I've failed my way up to the top. I've failed my way to being successful. I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm trying to be. So don't be discouraged on any of your mistakes, because I still make them today. Now, real quick, let's talk about speed and distance. All right, big thing right now, big topic. Now, me and my cousin, we spray completely different. I spray my fluid all the way open, and I'm really close, but I'm really fast. My cousin, he will spray a little bit slower. His fluid, I think, might be all the way open, but he's at a distance. He's not as close as I am, because he used to tell me all the time, slow down. And I'm like, nah, man, I got my fluid all the way open, and I'm way closer. And he'd be like, well, back up. Well, you got to do this, do that. And I'm like, no, this is the way that I spray. This is how I am. My results come out great. His results come out great. We're completely different painters. Now, my example. So let's do. Okay, so we will do 12 PSI fluid. Open the fluid all the way. Fluid all the way. Fan is all the way open as well. Fan is all the way open, fluid is all the way open, air is at 12. So I'm going to spray how I would normally spray this area. Okay. Cool little even consistent flow. I was about 4 to 5 inches. Yeah, somewhat close. Now, normally they say 6 to 8. Sometimes I am 6 to 8, depending on what gun I'm using. You might have a DV1. This is a clear coat gun, is why I was even that close. But certain guns spray different ways. Now, I'm going to do the same flow, but I'm gonna do it farther back. Same setting, but farther back. Nice, cool little layer. I mean, got a little dry shot. That's all, you know, some slight, but same thing. So this is darker. It's coming out wet. I can get this area to look like that with the same distance and the same results, just even faster. It's just distance and speed is something you have to determine. So if I want, say my teacher was like, nah, I need it like this. All right, bet. Okay, cool. Got you, boss. So it's pretty much the same results. It's just you have to figure it out. Find that friction zone. Find that point to where do you need to speed up or slow down? Do you need to go closer or farther? Yeah. So I like to spray like this. This is a little bit heavy. This is fine though. This is great. This is fine. One more coat and that's done. I would say 2 or 3 coats on both of these and then it'll be done. So it's up to you. That is the speed. So you got to figure out, okay, once you've mastered how to set your gun, once you figure that out, you need to determine whether or not are you quick and easy? I want to take my time. Man, that's a little hot. 16. So it's all up to you. 14. So this, and the most important part, I should have said this way earlier. Keep your gun straight. Your gun needs to be sprayed just like this every single time, no matter what part of the car you are at. It has to be perfectly straight. It needs to be straight at all times, because the moment you curb it, look, you got a wet spot right here and a dry spot right there. That's because your gun is not leveled, it's not equal, it's not flat. Or look, I'm gonna angle it up. Now the wet spot is up top, angle it down, wet spot is at the bottom, you don't have. Now that will create tiger stripes. If I watch my angle, I'm crooked. Uh-oh. But yes, you see that? Off top. Dry, wet, dry, wet. So, I hope we got that concept down. I pretty much went over the basics. I believe if there's anything that I might have forgot, please let me know. I'm just trying to help the next person out the best way I can. So determine whether or not you want a pressure pot, a 2-quart pot over there, or the HVLP gravity fed. I don't know why I don't know what that is. You know, I don't remember. Or start off with a can. Now you got 2 types of cans. You got that can and you got this can. It's not the size I'm talking about, it's the tip. See the tip right there? So with this particular tip, you actually can get the same results, as a paint gun. This tip was already like that. They bought it just like this. Already comes with that tip like that. Versus a regular can does not have that type of tip. Comes out like the circle. And then the fan, like so. Got the circle, you got the fan. If you figured out how to use a paint gun, you will figure out exactly how to use a paint can. You do not want to start off like all close, because you will run it. Pigment sack right there. You want to start off at a distance, kind of figure out how she sprays. Okay, cool, I know I need to be this far back. And if it's too far back, then clearly, okay, all right, get a little closer. There we go, boom. Now with this, same thing. It's just coming out like the dots we started off with the fan narrowed in. Once you mastered out how to use your fan narrowed in, you're in the game. So you want to avoid that right there, those runs. So say this was a panel right here, you had this paint, get it from a distance, boom. I started off too close, so I'm backing up a little bit as I go. Get a little tack coat on there. just like that. And then let it dry and then do another coat. I'd rather dry shoot than run it. So with these cans, if you're worried about painting, start off far and just build your way up. You're not gonna run it. You could put 55 coats on this piece of paper right now and you will not run it. As long as you just let it build up, meaning apply some coats, let it dry. Come back, let it dry. Come back, do that as much as you want. Now I'm gonna give you guys an example of how this beastie thing sprays. Let's go ahead and open her up and then show y'all how this one sprays just real quick. So we got our, so this one's just a little bit bigger, a lot bigger. Yeah, so I could spray anything. You know, the fan pattern is a lot bigger than what you would use for the where's it at? The HVLP gun. So yeah, a lot bigger, and then the farther back, the closer you get, the wetter it is, and the farther back, bigger your fan pattern is. That's a nice pattern though. So that's about 24 inches, probably a little bit more than that. So yeah, that's an idea on how this particular gun. So this will get the job done fairly quick. But you know, especially if you have a big project. Now I hope I helped somebody out in a way. Like I said, I ain't a teacher. I ain't the best advice giver, but I don't mind sharing the little bit that I know. So, but yeah, man, if you're interested in being a painter, man, I would definitely say start off small. Start off, take it easy. Don't get overwhelmed and beat yourself up for something you don't know how to do, or something you have to self-teach yourself. So, for the most part, understand that things don't happen overnight. A lot of things don't happen overnight, and it takes time, and it takes consistency, and it takes practice. Honestly, started off small, and now we're working our way up. You know, you don't have to start off in an expensive ass booth or $100,000 booth, man. Just start off in the backyard. I painted my first project, my first motorcycle, on my front porch of my apartment complex, and my landlord, well, my property manager, was above me. He didn't know that was going on, but damn it, I was making it happen in the middle of the night. So I painted my motorcycle actually twice, 2 different colors. So, you know, the location is not I feel like it's not an excuse, man. You can go in your backyard, go in your mom's backyard, granny's backyard, go in your bathroom and paint something small. Start off with a can of paint. That's what I started I painted anything the first time was can of paint. So don't make excuses for yourself, man. Procrastination is the assassination of your destination. So just drop a comment, and if I missed anything, just let me know. Like I said, if I was interested in, like, if I was, you know, on the other side of the screen and wanted to become a painter, what would I do? What are the first few steps that I would do? Was one, determine your location. Where do you think you can get away with painting at? Once you determine your location, is what you go to Harbor Freight. You cannot go wrong with Harbor Freight. You can get everything you need there, everything from your air compressor, everything from your paint guns, everything from sandpaper. You can get all of that from Harbor Freight. What type of gun would you start off with? What I start off with? Now that I know now, I would start off with a Black Widow. I think it's a Black Widow at Harbor Freight. I think maybe $180. Go in there, grab that gun, use that as a base coat, clear coat gun until you can work your way up and get you a DeVelvis, base coat, clear coat gun, or a Sada, Iwata, AccuSpray, stuff like that. Work your way up, crawl before you walk. Understand that, it takes time, and you have to build yourself up. It's an investment. Invest in yourself, and you will have the booth that you want, or build the booth that you want, or have a shop. This isn't my booth. I'm just allowed to, use this booth while I'm at work for painting purposes, obviously. And then whenever I get off, I'll go to my shop and finish up the projects that I have there. So, like I said, I would get the paint gun and then start off small. Start painting off bicycles, start doing, I don't know, skateboards, appliances, and then you can work your way up into a car. Just understand the basics of your gun. Now understand the basics of your speed and distance and how you want the paint to lay. You can control that. So yeah. Trying to think of anything else before I actually shut this video off. Yeah, man, like I said, if y'all new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, man. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers. Can't thank y'all enough. It's definitely a blessing to have all you guys tapped in with me. So yeah, man, I appreciate y'all watching, man. Everything is going great. Everything is going the way it's supposed to go. So I'm no longer complaining about anything. I'm happy. I feel blessed. I'm great. Yeah, man, so y'all stay tuned. Y'all hit that subscribe button. We'll be going into the shop a little later on when I get off, and then we will jump on those projects there. So I'll jump into another video. So if y'all want to see that next video, just hit that subscribe button, man. Stay tuned, man. We out of here.